A matter of days after returning home from her European trip, President Park Geun-hye is set to welcome one of the world's top leaders to the presidential office on this Wednesday. Russian President Vladimir Putin is in Seoul as the two countries look to boost cooperation in a number of sectors.
North Korea is also expected to come up in their discussions. In an interview with a Korean broadcaster before arriving in Seoul, Putin voiced his support for a peaceful reunification of the two Koreas. Our presidential correspondent Oh Jin-ju has the details.
Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has arrived in Seoul for bilateral talks with President Park Geun-hye, says Russia will support the reunification of the two Koreas, but only when it is done in a peaceful manner. In an interview with major Korean broadcaster KBS that aired Tuesday, Putin said reunification is a natural process, but it must happen with consideration for the interests of both sides. With regard to the six-party denuclearization talks, he pledged to push for a resumption of the stalled multilateral dialogue, saying there are no other mechanisms for resolving the North Korean nuclear issue. The Russian president emphasized that the international community should approach the security issue on the Korean peninsula with respect and consideration for Pyongyang. Later this Wednesday, Presidents Park and Putin are scheduled to sit down for bilateral talks on expanding cooperation between the two nations. Topping the summit agenda will be Seoul's possible participation in a joint railway project between North Korea and Russia. The railway would run between Russia's eastern border town of Hasan and the North Korean port city of Rajan. A Korean consortium comprising Korail, POSCO, and Hyundai Merchant Marine plans to invest around 210 billion won, or some $196 million, in the project. By doing so, it will assume some part of Russia's share in the project. The two nations are also expected to sign a visa waiver agreement and seek ways for Korean vessels to develop a sea route in the North Pole through Russian waters. The South Korean government will also be aiming to secure support from Putin for President Park's key North Korea policies, including her trust-building process and the Northeast Asia Peace Initiative, and her vision for a huge single market in Eurasia. Oh Jin-ju, Arirang News.